Doom in big capital letters, which seems to be a trend of sorts, was released in 2016 and is a kind of reboot of the original Doom from 1993, which only had one capital letter. Doom is a perfect example of a video game sequel developed by developers that fully understand what the original game did well. And they made sure to keep those same design decisions intact while freely experimenting with the less important parts. Any developer that wants to create an equally successful sequel, or reboot, or what have you, can learn a great deal from Doom. But I'll leave the comparisons between Doom with one capital letter and Doom with four for another time. For now, let's just talk about what Doom 2016 does well. I'd like to begin by pointing out the respect that Doom has for the player's intelligence. While it does provide some helpful navigation markers for the main objectives, and some basic tutorials, the ultimate experience of navigating the world, finding secrets, and even figuring out some of the deeper aspects of the story are put squarely in the hands of the gamer. Here is a game that doesn't treat you like an idiot. It gives you a map and says, figure it out. It gives you a taste of the basic storyline, but says, if you want to know more, go and explore. Doom's story has a surprising amount of depth and lore, but it doesn't put you in the baby chair and spoon-feed you every part of it. Doom believes that you're smart enough to piece everything together from the various bits of information spread throughout the game. It believes that you're smart enough to read a map. It believes that you're smart enough to figure out the gameplay. The short of it is, Doom 2016 respects the gamer and your abilities. And thanks to this, the gaming community in turn greatly respects Doom. And that mutual respect has equaled millions and millions and millions of sales. Doom is also about quality over quantity and fun over realism. Each weapon in Doom has 2 alternative modifications, but each one is useful, and it's often difficult to choose between them. If it gave 1,000 different options, each gameplay decision you make as you go through the game wouldn't have the same weight to it. Everything in Doom is there for a reason and wasn't just arbitrarily thrown in. The philosophy of Doom seems to be less is more, and it certainly works. Because of this focus on quality, everything in Doom is incredibly polished. The graphics, the gameplay, the animations, the storyline, the user interface. In fact, just about everything is absolutely impeccable. As previously mentioned, Doom also has decided on fun over realism. I would imagine that normally, when you crack open a demon's skull, with your bare hands, ammo and health probably does not drop out like from a piñata. And yet, despite this, Doom still ultimately achieves a bizarre but gritty sense of realism and a sense of wonder at the world around you. It makes you want to know more about it. And so you go off exploring. Or you don't. It's actually up to you. Like I said, the game respects you and your decisions. I'd like to wrap this up by mentioning that the character you play as, the Doom Slayer, has more character development and depth in the animation of his fist, without saying a single word, than many games have in thousands of lines of dialogue. It's an amazing example of show, don't tell. And finally, who is this game for? Well, at its core, Doom is still a fast-paced, twitchy, first-person shooter. Everything else is really just icing on the cake. So if you want to rip and tear hordes of demons to the point where you may actually start to feel a little sorry for them, then this is the game to do it in. And depending on how much of an explorer you are, you may end up spending anywhere between 20 to 100 hours in Doom.